Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I'm here today to do the Vincent Price tag. And I don't do a lot of tags that much. I mean, I create a one. A lot of time consuming, especially with an actor like Vincent Price. Ever since my childhood, I've been a fan of Vincent Price up until now. I mean, I've always been a fan of Vincent. He's my favorite horror movie actor of all time. I'm going to as far as towards the end of the video, I would say the last broadcast I've seen with him in it. I mean, the last TV appearance before his passing. At the end of the video, I'll talk about that too. And I'll talk about the last thing I reviewed with him in it. Two for the channel. I haven't done a lot of Vincent Price reviews because I haven't really seen a lot of Vincent Price stuff recently. But I know, what's that horror show? Did the Vincent Price... please forgive me if I said your channel name wrong. Because I haven't... some of the channel names I'm not as familiar with. I know you did this about a month ago, and I saw it, and I was like... I just kind of just put on the back burner. I know Queenie Todd did it. Just did it not recently. And then, of course, Steph from Leather and Jade did it. And definitely shouted... I knew she would tag me. And that's cool. I don't mind being tagged. I haven't done tag videos in a while. Then I did a werewolf tag not that long ago, and then I created my own. I did the shark movie tag. I know Steph was kind enough to do the shark movie tag for me. And there's a whole bunch of questions, and these are a little more in depth than some of the other ones. So I think there's 10 questions. Let's go ahead and get started. I got Queenie Todd's video right here, so I can see that. Read the questions off. I'll put the questions in the description. And as far as tagging anybody, anyone who's interested or a fan of Vincent Price is welcome to do this. Anyone, it don't matter. Okay, the first question is favorite Vincent Price horror film. That's impossible. I'll give you an answer, but Vincent Price was great in everything. Everything he did, he was great in. Everything he did could easily be my favorite thing. But for a favorite horror film, I will say. Well, they always say like the Edgar Allan Poe movies because those were really showed off his acting chops. But I mean, it's hard to even pick amongst them. I'm gonna say The Last Man on Earth, and it was cool. Alice Cooper did the song about that. Now every time I hear that, I hear the Alice Cooper song, and John was playing that one. Fantastic. Every horror film he's in, every appearance, he was brilliant in. But I'll say that. Favorite non-horror film? That's even tougher. But I mean, I'm going to say it's listed on IMDb. I had to go on IMDb. And what was it? Now I can't find it. On IMDb, and it says TV movie. I know it was made for Canadian TV. Where the heck was it at? I remember renting it. I rented it in the 70s. I mean, I'm not in the 70s, in the 90s from the Albion, like Alice Cooper, The Nightmare, the TV movie. He was in that, The Spear of the Nightmare. I'm going to say that. I don't know if that counts. But, I mean, everything he's in is brilliant. So I'm going to say that. So let's see. Third question. Who would win in a fight between the triumvirate of evil, Vincent Price, Christopher Lee, or Peter Cushing? Since there always has to be a who'd win in a fight question. I would say Christopher Lee, and that's because of something John was saying, that Christopher Lee must have seen action in the war, and Peter Jackson said, for like Lord of the Rings, imagine the sound a knife would make when it's stabbing somebody. And I think this is the story. And even Horror Show mentioned the story too. And then John was saying, Christopher Lee said, I don't have to mention that. And he even mentioned that in one of the movie reviews we did. I mean, it might have been a few for the Raw Meat one, which was, I can't remember, that one underground one. He had a small part in that. The Donald Pleasance one, too. Vincent Price's best contribution to music album, Michael Jackson, Thriller, Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare. I think they were both fantastic. I think Stephanie helped make my mind up was she said that Vince Price was not paid for being on Alice Cooper's Thriller album. Something with management or something like that. One Michael Jackson's fault or something. I don't know. So I'm going to say Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare. I don't think that's right for him not to be paid. But a lot of people get screwed like that. That guy who did that Yahoo thing, I think he got cheated or something. And some people get cheated like that. It's terrible. Replace any actor in a horror movie with Vincent Price. What actor in what movie? That's tough. I don't know. That's tough. Let me go on IMDb again. That is really, really tough. I don't think I can answer that one. Maybe Dr. Goldfoot. I don't know. I like those movies too. Seemed like it'd be insulting to even try to replace Vince Price in any movie. So that's impossible for me to answer. If you were in a movie, Vincent Price, chances are he'd kill you. He would you. How would you want to play it? How would you want Price to kill? Well, I remember seeing a movie on Late Great Horror Show, and I figured it would be a horrible way to die. The Pit and the Pendulum with the pendulum coming down, but boy, that would hurt. That would really, really hurt, and that'd be a horrible way to go. Because even, I mean, it was made in the 60s when it's not supposed to be fine, but just the scene going down that little bit of a screen, I was like that as a kid watching that movie. And the one thing about Vincent Price, he was in horror. I knew about him even when I was real little. My mother couldn't stop me from that because my mother tried to suppress my love of horror films. Tried to take, and she couldn't. And that's why I love horror films so much today. Just, like a big F you to her, too. Vincent Price guest starred in many classic TV shows. What is your favorite? Without a doubt, Hilarious House of Frightenstein. Without a doubt. I remember seeing that as a kid. That might have been my very first. Well, I might have seen Vincent Price on regular TV shows because he plays a nice guy. He does not always a horror movie character. But he does kind of play it sometimes. Some. You definitely Hilarious House of Frightenstein. This was Canadian's a TV show for kids made in the early 70s. I remember as a kid, if my mom knew about it, she'd say, "You're not allowed to watch that." But I did watch it. Ha 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 ha. And it was back in the days, way before cable, because I was born in 68. And this was probably the time when it was either in rerun or I think there was 130 episodes of the show. And this was in the house in Albion. It was the first house I grew up in. Then we moved to Cranesville, the one house at Cranesville in 75, 76. The big blue house, and then they repainted it as brown now. And what happened was, we just had regular antenna. We could pick up a lot of Canadian stations. And it was either Canadian station 13 or 11. We were able to get that. And I always thought it was funny when they had the sign on. They had the guy sign on and he'd say Peninsula. And he'd go Peninsula like that. I always thought it was hilarious. I think it was Channel 13. And then they have Hilarious House of Frightenstein. And it was a great show. Apparently, they had like a story about that in Rue Morgue when I had a subscription to them a long time ago. And they said they only had Vincent Price for like a couple days, and they filmed a lot of different sequences. And he even introduced it, the show, in the opening credits, Hilarious House of Frightenstein. If you look on YouTube, Steph, I implore you, check out Hilarious House of Frightenstein on YouTube. You can probably watch that with your daughter. I don't think it'd be a big... it's like, I guess in America we had Captain Kangaroo and they had Hilarious House of Frightenstein. I think Hilarious House of Frightenstein was better. I like Captain Kangaroo as a kid. Very funny stuff. And they even had that guy, the professor that used to teach physics. He used to have a show on PBS, that guy with the crazy hair. He was on there too. It was really interesting stuff. And like I said, Vincent Price had like some he did like some narration. He did like the introduction. He made it really exciting as a kid. It's like, boy, this is an exciting show. He really did a great intro to the show. And they had like a video on YouTube with just the intro to Hilarious House of Frightenstein on there. I remember there was this one kid that was mocking me for liking the show. When I went to catechism, which was Sunday school on Saturday. Well, like from 9 to 11 in Albion. It was terrible. I was like, I want to punch that kid in the face. But I mean, Hilarious House of Frightenstein, without a doubt. And I mean, at the end of the video, I'll talk about the last thing I saw that I reviewed with him in it, and also my last time I've seen him in a broadcast on a TV show, you know. So that's 7, and then I said Vincent Price starred in 8 films with the word house in the title. What is your favorite? I'm going to say there's so many good ones. I'm going to say House on Haunted Hill, because of that skeleton thing. That's pretty iconic. I really enjoyed that movie. I didn't see that till much later. I remember renting on VHS, and it was released through CBS Fox, even though that's like a public domain movie. You can get that anywhere now. Great movie. Oh, and I know Stephanie was talking about the movie The Tingler. My dad and my uncle said that was the dumbest movie ever made. And I finally saw it on AMC, and I enjoyed it. My dad said, "Isn't this stupid?" And said, if you have to get rid of it, you have to scream in the theater. And said, and they said how dumb William Castle was. But I mean, I watched him. He did a movie called 10 Frightened Girls I tried to watch on FearNet I couldn't make it through that one. But I've watched every other William Castle movie. I like Bug. What was it called? Bug? That creeped me out. About those cockroaches that set fire on people's hair and stuff like that. That was a creepy movie. I saw that in Germany. But yeah, House on Haunted Hill. But like I said, I know Stephanie was about to tingle. I know my dad's that movie was stupid. My dad hated that movie, but I thought it was pretty good. I don't know why he didn't like it, but that's all right. If Vincent Price could read a bedtime story, what would it be? That's kind of, and in a way, that's a little creepy. But I mean, he did a great thing about that I saw where he did like reenactments of stuff from Edgar Allan Poe. I guess maybe The Raven. That would be pretty cool. And then Vincent Price lent his voice to several animated shows. What was your favorite animated films and shows? I'm going to say, I told Steph. Steph didn't know a lot of the animated stuff he did. And you can, I'm keen to look on IMDb. But I'm going to say Great Mouse Detective. He played Professor Ratigan. And this is, well, everything he did was great. And he did Scooby-Doo. Every voice work, everything he did was fantastic. Easily be my favorite. But I'm going to say Great Mouse Detective. And that's what made me want to see the movie. Because I remember Siskel and Ebert reviewed it. And they said how great a villain he was. No, Vincent Price, I don't know. When I saw that might have been after. I can't remember when I saw the movie. And this is back in that period in the 70s and 80s when Disney was struggling. And I don't feel sorry for Disney whatsoever. They make tons of money. But when the studio was struggling, and then they were starting doing this, Michael Eisner came in, and I was like, Michael Eisner. They said, I was saying, I remember talking to my dad, I said, Michael Eisner was ruining the company. But I don't really shed a tear for Disney. I mean, because they make money hand over fist. Especially now. And Disney's on a crusade to own everything. Well, anyways, this is back when Disney was in that time period when they were trying to do a lot of risque stuff. Like 78, they had the very first PG-rated movie, which after Black Hole, which was a big budget movie. I love the Black Hole, and it was a flop. I remember Dad taking us to see it. Because they had all these re-releases, and they re-released. Because we saw, Mom took us to see Sleeping Beauty. I saw Dumbo a million times. At the drive-in or at the theaters. And this was a re-release once again of Sleeping Beauty. And Mom just took us to see Sleeping Beauty in Cinema World. Well, I wanted to see 1942, but, my mom. And then I remember she wanted to take us to see Aristocrats. I said, it's my birthday. I want to see Flash Gordon. I'm not taking to see Flash Gordon. I want to see Flash Gordon. It's my birthday. Why should I pick that? Because last year, in 4th grade, I wanted to see Superman for my birthday. I didn't think Flash Gordon would be a big deal. I don't see it. Your father out to take it. See it now. Blah, blah, blah. That's the way my mom is. She's horrible. And I saw it at the Village Cinema. My dad took me to see it, and that was fantastic. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Aristocrats any other time. She took us to see some other Disney movies. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't think I ever saw Aristocats. I'm saying Aristocrats. That's that dirty documentary about the dirty joke. I mean, I wouldn't have had a problem watching it any other time, but I wanted to see Flash Gordon for my birthday. Any other time would have been fine, because she took us to see Rescue, which was a lot, Cat from Outer Space, the Disney movie everyone forgets about, which is one of my favorite Disney movies. But, I mean, you know, I would have seen Aristocrats, but I wanted to see Flash Gordon at the time. She took us to see Pete's Dragon, which was really good. Far different than in a live-action remake with Robert Redford. And that was good, too, but a completely different movie from the other Pete's Dragon. Anyway, I'm going to say Professor Radigan from the Great Mouse Detective. And like I said, this was like before Disney was struggling, and then they did their first PG-rated movie, the rated cartoon of Black Cauldron, which was really tough to find. I didn't find that till like the 90s. I like that movie too. And then they created those other studios like Touchstone and Hollywood Pictures and stuff like that. And were releasing like R-rated movies like what's that? Down Out in Beverly Hills and Ruthless People. And those were hit movies. I mean, that's still Buena Vista, but they're talking about the Disney studio. And then Disney didn't have a hit till '88 for Little Mermaid. I still haven't seen that movie. And then I guess the studio started to come back, make a comeback. But I'll say best voice work cartoon, Great Mouse Detective. Now the last. Now sadly he passed away in '93. I remember Gore Gazette did a thing, rest in peace, because I didn't see it on the news, which is sad. It probably was on the news, but I didn't see it on the news. And he said, rest in peace, horror movie dude. And, you know, I mean, I grew up watching him as a kid and stuff like that. I mean, and he was, I mean, they say pick your favorite on here. There is no favorite. Everything he did was my favorite. Everything he did was brilliant. Last thing I saw him in, he was on a TV show. It was either... I think it was, this is back when I wasn't working that much. They had a talk show at 3 o'clock on NBC. It was John Tesh and Lisa Gibbons. And then they kicked John Tesh off because he said he was annoying a lot of the guests or something like that. And then it just became Lisa Gibbons' show, I think. I think it was on that show. I might be mistaken. And he was on there doing a cooking segment. And I didn't know he was a famous gourmand or cook. I guess he released a bunch of cooking books, I think. I'm not sure. And he was talking about that, and he was talking about soup. And he said a lot of people don't ignore soup because of high sodium content, but he said soup is a great food, that more people should eat more soup. And then that was the last time I really saw him on a... I mean, when I say that, I mean like a TV performance, like, you know, last thing, not last movie or TV show I ever seen it. So that was the last thing I saw him on TV, last broadcast. Not the last thing I've seen him in, because I've seen him still on other stuff. And then the last thing I reviewed, they had some guy named Dr. I keep wanting to say Dr. Gangrel. It's Dr. Gangrene, I think. And he did the Eddie Cantor show, and he would show like horror movies, like some other people, like Tristan Comer, whose channel is really unique, because I saw it's like some YouTube will sometimes have horror movies on there. His channel is really unique. Sometimes they'll have like a horror movie, or sometimes they'll have like country music videos or like a gaming video. And I've seen a couple movies on his channel. Like I saw that Sweet 16, a really hard to slasher movie I had a really hard time finding, which is very different, and I don't know if people liked it, but it does the slasher thing in a very different way, and I liked it. And then, of course, Visiting Hours, which I've seen a few times. I wanted to review it for the channel, and it's a really great movie. William Shatner's in it, and the killer, and this is no spoiler, Michael Ironside, because they say it right away at the beginning. You know who it is right away. And then there's, like, Joe for Jeff, and he said, like, he put up a movie, and he said this is his last upload, and he said he's not doing it anymore. But he puts up a lot of movies, uploads over the past so often. He puts, like, a lot of hard to find slashers and stuff, which is pretty cool. And then Dr. Gangrel does that, but he does stuff like reviews and stuff, and he's on camera. And he showed an episode of the Eddie Cantor show, and it's like an old show from the 50s. And I actually reviewed it on my channel, and it had Vincent Price playing this millionaire that doesn't like spending his money at all, and he ends up getting kidnapped. And it's really funny. And they talk about like being in some exclusive club where he had to pay so much a year, and then you see him, Vincent Price, sped up running away. It was really funny. That's the last thing I reviewed Vincent Price in, and that was like, I don't know, a month or so ago, or maybe in June or July, I reviewed that Eddie Cantor show with Vincent Price. Very funny. So I hope you like. This has been a Vince Price tag. Hope you like this tag. I'm gonna put this up Sunday at noon. Like I said, these take a long time to do. This is like a long video. Like I said, I shout out anyone. I mean, as far as people tag, anyone who the fan of Vince Price who's interested in doing this tag, you're more than welcome to do it. I'm going to put the list of questions in the description for my video, and I hope you like this video, everybody. Until next time, please take care, my legion. And Vincent, I mean, this is like, and it's kind of cool doing this video because Vincent Price was probably my favorite actor of all time. A big part of my childhood and growing up and stuff like that. Because I mean, he was in like regular. Very related. He was on like a lot of just regular TV shows and stuff like that too. So you would see him no matter what if you watched any type of entertainment. I'd never seen him in the theater. No, I take that back. I remember seeing him. We saw a movie called Scavenger Hunt. He's in Scavenger Hunt. I love Scavenger Hunt for '79. A lot of people weren't too crazy about that movie, but I love the movie. I'm still trying to find it. It's on. I mean, I try to find like a free thing of it. I don't know why they're making it so hard to find. It's a Madman World. That's one of like a Madman World Scavenger Hunt. But I like that movie. People were talking about Edward Scissorhands. He was in that, but I was very happy to see him in that. But I thought Edward Scissorhands was really depressing. I mean, everyone loved that movie, but I wasn't a huge fan of it because I just thought it was too depressing. I might get hate for saying that. I just thought it was just sad. It just ended up bumming me out. Because I remember that was a big hit when I was in the Army. I didn't go see it on Fort Bragg. I didn't see that one. But I hope you like this tag. Like I said, anyone who's interested in doing or a fan of Vince Price is more than welcome to do the tag if you like. So until next time, bye, please. Take care, my legion. And upload this at 12 o'clock for Sunday.